पढ़ ली, सारा कुछ माशाल्लाह पढ़ लिया. अब now what happens clinically is the time to wake up. Is really interested? ठीक है, बहुत अच्छा किया. नेक्स्ट क्या होगा? Total hip replacement is, as all of my colleagues will agree, is the most successful surgery in the history of medicine. We talked about John Charlotte, the man and the hip pain. We talked about the history as well. The indications are broader now because we are doing it in younger population at this moment. This has led to the higher expectations of the patients. दो ही एक्सपेक्टेशंस हैं. एक तो जोड़ मेरा लंबा चल जाए, जैसे अभी है कि वो डालें जो सारी उम्र चल जाए, लॉन्गेविटी है, और आउटकम की मेरी क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ बेहतर है. पेशेंट तो ये दो चीज़ें चाहता है. ठीक है, आपने बहुत अच्छा किया कि if we go back to this radiograph, cemented hip, looks hunky-dory, everything is all right. आपने टांके निकाल दिए, मरीज घर चला गया, हफ्ते बाद दिया. तो ये आदत किधर गया जी, क्यों निकाला है? ठीक है, अब हम देखते हैं कि what are the risk factors, how we can minimize the risk factors, and what are the steps we can take to prevent dislocation, and how do we treat it. The most dislocations occur during the first post-operative years. The first 3 months 50% उनमें होती है. ठीक है, dislocation is a relatively common complication from 1% to 10% of the primary hips and 28% of the revisions. It is the second commonest complication after the aseptic movement. All these registries we have talked about their importance, and according to the data again says it's the registry, Australian registry and the New Zealand registry. This says it's the second most commonest complication. One is aseptic loosening, the number one is that. And even our registry, Shahid Noor is sitting there, copied from that. And if you can see, the first one is the aseptic loosening. Here you can see it at the bottom. And the second one is the dislocation. And most of the hips, again very important, and the next slide you will see, is done through the lateral approach. Most of the surgeons are using lateral approach. This is our own local data. So, what are the risk factors? One is the risk factor. हम मरीज को अक्सर कहेंगे, अच्छा तू इस तरह बैठे हुआ है, तू जमीन पे बैठे हुआ है, तू लात रख के बैठे हुआ है. So these are the factors जो कि we always blame a patient. But it's the surgeon who is important. It's your skills who are important. The non-modifiable factors where you cannot do anything are the patient factors. Prior hip surgery, as we see, the dislocation rate is higher in the revision surgery. Second, female gender. The third is age more than 80 years. And the fourth one is the neuromuscular disease. You cannot do much regarding all these things. The only thing is important selection of your patient here, and it has been earlier talked a lot about that. The important factors which you can modify, which are surgeon's experience, the surgical approach and patient positioning, malpositioning of the component, and the femoral head size. Non-modifiable factors, patient selection is very important, and you use the implant accordingly. If the patient is a neuromuscular disease, from day one patient selection and implant selection is important. And modifiable factors, we will see the surgeon's experience. How does this matter? The experience and the annual quantity of the total hip. The surgeon like me do 10 hips replacement. Obviously my learning level and the outcome of that hips will not be as great as the surgeon who is showing about 200 hips per year. Pre-operative planning, Naeem has talked a lot about that, and then we listened about the other lecture as well. The patient positioning when you are doing the patient in lateral or the medial position, surgical approach, and the component placement. These are modifiable factors. We will see them one by one now. Surgeon's experience. For every 10 primary total arthroplasties performed annually, the risk of dislocation decreased by 50%. The larger volume you do, the less chances of dislocations are. And regarding to the European data, if someone is doing less than 43 hips per annum, he should not be doing it, should be referring to the centers where the arthroplasty trained surgeons are present and their volumes are high. But when this culture will develop, we do not know, but we are all aiming that this will happen, and we will all do that. And surgical approach, does this make a difference? Majority of the surgeons are still doing the posterior approach, and the younger ones are doing lateral approach, and now there is a direct anterior approach as well. The more younger people are doing it. Transtrophantalic approach, we don't do it anymore. But if you can see, the dislocation rate for the posterior approach is 3.2% and 2.18% for anterolateral and lateral approach. There is a recent meta-analysis found no difference in dislocation after anterior and posterior approach. We always blame कि जी हमारे जितने भी mentors थे, they all used to do it from posterior approach. And they are very good research to talk about Charlie and other things. And patient positioning, the lateral approach. Faisal Sahib and Ahmed Sahib are doing this lateral approach. The patient in supine, people like me, they do it in lateral position. We've done this local study, doesn't make any difference at all. Whatever the patient positioning, whichever patient positioning you are doing that day, although the numbers was less, but it was not statistically significant. This is very important, implant positioning. If the implant is in malposition, then this is a disaster. And especially the acetabular cup. Femoral component, the chances of mistakes are less. And liner, we all talked about the posteriorly stabilized liners. We will take what are normal landmarks to place the acetabular cup. And if you can see here at the acetabular cup, one is this acetabular inclination, 45 degrees, we all agree. And second one is number 2 as anteversion femoral, which is 15%, we all agree. And LLD, the third one is the femoral head size. We've all talked and we'll see in the literature. The fourth one is LLD. All these things are important. You can change that by vertical to offsets. But what we have seen, acetabular is placed nicely. And this recent paper, if you can see, the acetabular component alignment, only when we do the CT scan, 45% of the prosthesis cup are in target position in the post-operative CT. If you have done an excellent cup, patient is doing very well, but if you are doing a research, to do a CT scan, only 45% of the cups were in the true position. So, this is important, but if you see on the femoral side, the 71 prosthesis was in the target position. So, about 75% of the femoral component was in the good position. So, the more chances of mistakes are there in the acetabular side, even whatever you do, whatever you are doing. So, liners, we will not go there, a picture of augmented cups are available. Implant factors, femoral head size of these, Nasser has nicely talked about these. These are available from 22 to 40 millimeter size. And all these head to neck ratios and head to metal shell size and type of inner liners, we've discussed all in details about these previous lectures. So, smaller the cup is, the more chances of dislocation. But it's a low friction as well. It's original concept of the Charlie. The bigger head is, the volumetric, more volumetric wear, and the less chances of dislocation. So what is the consensus now? We are either should we use 22 or 40 millimeters. So we have to settle somewhere in the middle. Now majority of people are using the 32 millimeter head size. So you have done mercury getting wonderfully good. If dislocates, what will we do? G, please.
Reduce.
Rather than going the details, I put this algorithm, if you can see it. And if it's it depends if it's a first dislocation or it's a recurrent dislocation. If the first dislocation is the traumatic dislocation or a traumatic dislocation. So when we come to the first dislocation, it is either traumatic or atraumatic, and you do the radiography, you check whether your implant is loose, there is the implant failure and malpositioning, you straight go towards the revision surgery. If nothing is that present, when you are doing a closed reduction, and you do a fluoroscope, you check the position of stability, whether that hip is stable, you have reduced it, or it's unstable. If it's unstable, then you go for a revision, obviously. If it is stable, you leave it, and then the literature recommends to do abduction orthosis. I'm not sure how many patients will wear abduction or orthosis at the age of 70 years. No one.
Even at any age.
क्या कोई जमाना था उसमें प्लास्टर स्पाइका दिया करते थे फ्रॉम पूरा का पूरा, जैसे बच्चों को हम फेमोरल फ्रैक्चर में देते हैं, फ्रैक्चर शाफ्ट को फीवर में, तो पूरा वो हिप स्पाइका फॉर 6 weeks वो दिखाई कि जी टिश्यूज स्टेबलाइज हो जाए. टिश्यूज विल नॉट स्टेबलाइज. Either it's your component placement or your surgical technique, which is important. The tissues are torn, the cut, if the patient is neuromuscularly weak, it's your patient selection. And the recurrent dislocation, you do a radiography, you do a CT pelvis, correct positioning of the implant or malpositioning. In both cases, you will do a revision surgery. Whatever patient compliance is poor or patient compliance is good, if it dislocates, what type of a hip you will use? Now, any back benches? आपने सारा कुछ कर लिया है, बार डिस्लोकेट हो रही है. Irrespective of के आपके कप भी ठीक है, आपने CT स्कैन भी कर लिया है.
सर
क्या करेंगे आप?
सर डुअल मोबिलिटी है उसमें.
जी बिल्कुल, जैसे मंदिर कह रहे हैं, विल यूज द डुअल मोबिलिटी. ठीक है. अभी मैं शायद से भी बात कर रहा था बिफोर द लेक्चर ऑल द रिजल्ट्स ऑफ रिवीजन हिप्स एंड हमारे पास ये जो कप अभी दिखा रहे थे नासन में पिछले लेक्चर में दिखाए तो डुअल मोबिलिटी कप. ठीक है. लेकिन कैन यू यूज द डुअल मोबिलिटी कप अगर आपकी कंपोनेंट मैल पोजिशनिंग भी है? ये तो था ना नंबर 1 की कंपोनेंट पोजिशनिंग ठीक है. जो नॉन मॉडिफाइबल फैक्टर्स थे उनमें कोई इश्यू था एंड यू हैव यूज्ड द डुअल मोबिलिटी कप, दैट्स फाइन. अब आपका सेकंड एस्पेक्ट देख लेते हैं कि आपकी एसिटाइकुलर कंपोनेंट की मैल पोजिशनिंग है. आपने फ्लोरोस्कोपी भी किया, आपने CT स्कैन भी किया, हिप भी डिस्लोकेट हो रहा है. अब क्या करेंगे?
तो देखेंगे मैल पोजीशनिंग कितनी है, मेजर कर लेंगे उसके बाद. तो पोजीशन
जी क्या पूछा बोलिए, मैं यही तरीका है आपको जानते रहने का.
Maybe it is, if it is possible, then we need to quantify the malrotation of the components, and after deciding if this is malposition, we can again go for dual mobility.
As we have seen in the literature, even simple X-rays, you cannot find malpositioning, and you do a CT scan with well-placed cups, will not be at their target position as they shown, or 50% of the cup will not be there. So I'll put it down this way if our acetabulum is open. ठीक है, जो acetabulum inclination angle की बात करते हैं कि वो हमारा कप ओपन है और रेट्रोवर्शन में है, क्या करेंगे? एनी आगे माइक दे लेंगे, बाकी और भी कुछ जवाब देंगे।
उसकी वर्जन ठीक कर
चलिए डिपेंड वर्जन के हम टाइप्स कर देते हैं। अगर 10 डिग्री आउट ऑफ वर्जन है तो 10 बार फिर भी रिवाइज करेंगे या यू विल टेक अ चांस बाय पुटिंग इंटू अ मोबिलिटी कप।
So there is a possibility that the muscles around the hip are affected because
External rotators and so do the abductors, हम कहते हैं lateral approach में बड़े अच्छे रिपेयर होने चाहिए, but that doesn't help.
So sir,
वो तो once
if we are going for the revision surgery, if we are going for the revision surgery in a recurrent dislocation scenario, we need to provide more stability. So either we are going to use dual mobility or more constrained implant to reduce the chances of dislocation.
जी
This is what I
बिल्कुल,
think.
I think मैं जो जी
Anyone else?
कैसे क्या कहेंगे? मोटो इम्प्लांट वाले बैठे हैं, उन्हें बताएं कि क्या कौन सा कप डाल रहे हैं हम। वही डुअल मोबिलिटी का जो है वो आप बैक कर जस्ट दैट्स व्हाट आई फिनिश। So total hip replacement is a safe and long-lasting way to alleviate the hip pain, and but hip surgery is not foolproof. Nothing is 100%, as yesterday we talked about. When the procedure fails, the problem more often lies with the surgical error rather than a prosthetic design. So it's the surgeon, I'll say it again, myself is the surgeon. Surgeon is responsible, patient is not responsible, the prosthesis design is not important. It's a surgeon who chooses the patient, did the patient selection, and the surgeon who ordered the implant. So all the blame will come to the surgeons. We wish you dislocation doesn't happen to any of the hips which you have done. But if it happens, there is a simple way of doing the dual mobility. Thank you very much.